When I was a kid, I was fascinated with the open road. I always looked forward to hopping in Dad's Jeep and heading off into the wilderness to explore. Fast forward a few decades, and now it's my turn to pack up the Jeep and subject the family to dad jokes for a 700-mile never-ending drive across the great American Northwest. Why? To see some big trees, a huge papier-mâché lumberjack named Paul, some weird slimy slugs, elk named after a president, birds with rat tails eating even bigger slimy slugs, and even a pack of very overfed wild dogs that like to hang out at the marina for some reason. And of course, I have to film every second of it, because this is the wildlife. It's kind of an Overland Exposures vlog, but I don't want to call it a vlog because vlogs are dead. It's a documentary. Yeah, that sounds much better. This is the wildlife, and Overland Exposures, definitely not a vlog documentary. See what I did there with the wildlife name, by the way? Is it one word? Is it two? Only 699 more miles to go. And what would a travel video be without a bunch of epic B-roll? I know it's cliche, but just look at it. I realize that you probably didn't come here just to watch my family's vacation, so in sticking with the theme of the channel, there's going to be plenty of overlanding, camera talk, wildlife, all of that. Specifically, we're going to talk about what it takes to get some of the shots that I got, some of the problems that I had, and how I would do things differently again, if given the opportunity. Here we are in beautiful Crescent City, California. It was a long drive from Boise, Idaho, but we made it safely. We're in the middle of figuring out all the scheduling, and we are excited to see lots of things here, and it always feels like we don't have enough time. Vacation.
It's all about being flexible this trip and going with the flow and being okay with packing up and moving on and packing up and moving on a few times.
I already got some cool shots of some birds on the beach. I don't know what they are. That bird is actually called a whimbrel, and we are pretty lucky to see it, as a matter of fact, because they migrate quite a ways, and, well, we just got lucky. Not to be confused with a curlew. See, a curlew doesn't have the fancy stripes on its face, and its beak is a lot longer and a little bit more curved, too. A beak, or is it a bill? I don't know. I really wish that the footage I got of the whimbrel would have looked more like the photo that I got of the whimbrel, because the photo I was able to lay on the ground and take it at eye level with the bird. But in video, I needed the tripod for the stability, and I couldn't get my tripod quite low enough to get the shot that I really wanted. A tripod that goes all the way down to the ground is probably something I'm going to be investing in the future. There's some sea lions over here. They're barking like crazy. That was fun. The weather, though, it's gonna be pretty windy. Batten down the hatch. Hang on. See you tomorrow. Right behind me here is the Castle Rock Wildlife Refuge. It's an island that is home to thousands of birds that are mating this time of year. And unfortunately, it's in a no-fly zone because there's an airport right behind me. Otherwise, I'd be flying the drone a little bit closer to give you guys a better look. But we're gonna go down, set up on the beach, and see if we can eyeball it from the shore anyway. So I think that's about as good as I could do for you. Holy cow, it's windy over here too. I've got some birds feeding in the tide pools over here. I'm gonna try and get some good footage of that for you. If you know what kind they are, comment down below, because I don't have a clue. Just then, out of the corner of my eye, I spotted a great blue heron, and he actually let me get surprisingly close. He was holding very, very still, and he appeared to be looking right at me. But in hindsight, he was actually just hunting, because what happened next took me by complete surprise. He dips down into the tide pool and comes up with about a foot-long eel that he just thrashes about for the next 5 minutes until finally he swallows it whole. And unfortunately, I was having some focus issues. I had my camera accidentally set to human eye auto detection. So it should have been set to animal eye auto, and that was on me. Typically what I try to do is I set it for the animal eye autofocus, I get a good focus on the animal, and then I switch into manual mode. And this prevents any breathing of the lens or hunting that it might be doing, especially in really contrasty areas.
Wow, that was awesome to see that great blue heron snatch up that fish. I think it was a fish, might have been an eel. I was looking in direct sunlight the whole time. I'm gonna have to get back home and review the footage, but man, what an awesome trip down to the tide pools. That made it totally worth it.
I was scrambling to get this shot. I was on a really slippery, uneven, rocky surface in these tide pools, and the wind was like 30 miles an hour sustained, gusting up to 50 miles an hour that day. That was a huge problem filming with a long 150 to 600 millimeter lens in the wind on a slippery surface. That was not a very stable shot at all. To help nail the exposure, I was using zebras. To help with my focus, I was using focus peaking when in manual focus, and I just couldn't see it. And due to my tripod being so low to the ground, I couldn't get to the viewfinder to see my composition better. There was a lot of times when I was at f/22 looking directly into the sun glaring off the water, and all I could do was kind of adjust that variable ND to the point where I was seeing X's in the screen and all sorts of other stuff. So maybe a darker ND would have helped out a lot in getting a better shot here. I do not shoot with an external monitor yet. Hopefully one of those will be in my future, but that would have allowed me to see a lot better in that bright, harsh light environment. I was kind of just winging it off of the back of my little LCD screen, which isn't the best thing to do, but I did get some stuff to work with, and overall I'm fairly happy with the footage that I got. Right after I filmed him eating that eel, I immediately switched back over into photo mode and started snapping some pictures while I had him in my frame. He unfortunately did end up flying away, but not before I captured a couple in-flight photos. To see those photos a little bit better, check out my Instagram at Overland Exposures.
Let's see what the kid found.
Let's see what you got.
I have a sea star.
Sea star.
They renamed them because they're actually not a fish. So, yeah.
Mommy, what did you find?
I got a shell.
You got a shell?
We found lots of crabs, sea anemones. I took some pictures. This is a pretty big clamshell though.
Wow.
Isn't it?
Isn't it?
Isn't it? Kind of fun.
All right, well, it has become way too windy to be out here right now. I actually just got blown over. Almost lost my camera in the drink. So, headed back to the shore for a little bit of lunch and then a lot of fun. I don't know what we're doing. I don't even know if it's gonna be fun. I just said that. Shooting from the hip. Let's go. Welcome to the new Airbnb pad. Much better than the hotel with the squeaky floors with the guy that walks until 4 a.m.
No, from 4 to 6.
From 4 to 6? Yeah, we had a guy
He was walking back and forth from 4 to 6. It was really annoying.
It was bad. This is top floor though, and we got a view. Ocean front view even. It didn't say that in the Airbnb, you sneaky little devil Mike. Oh, look at that wood carving. Oh, please don't break it. You break, you buy. Next 4 days, we here for 4? Home for the next 3 days.
Look at this.
What?
This is kind of disturbing.
Oh my gosh, vacuum closet. Close it, hurry. Get sucked in. Oh, I gotta check my SD cards, get all that footage from this morning loaded off and offloaded. Oh no, this is why you gotta cut them. The little creatures get caught up in that and they die. At least I don't have to feed it anymore. Oh, it's still alive. Here, put it back on. Put it back on. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed it. I also hope you found some value in it. If you did, hit that like. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and we will see you on the next adventure, which is probably the next day of this trip. So stay tuned.